Me. Holy God, may the words of my mouth and the thoughts of all of our hearts be acceptable to you. May they bring us closer to you. You are our rock and our Redeemer. Amen. Hang on. Are you there, God? It's me, Tandiwe. I've got a list of people who need you. They're not always sure if they belong. They want you to be proud of them. They want their lives to matter. They need comfort and community. I'm pretty sure Jesus would care about these folks, God. After all, when the crowds of people gather, Jesus feels compassion for them. If they need help, Jesus shows them mercy. He cares about people, God. He cares about their bodies, about if they have enough to eat, or if they're sick, or if they're outcasts, or if they're gonna faint on the way home. That's no good. I know a little bit about fainting. I've done it a time or two. Low blood sugar. God, are you there? It's still me. Did I tell you I've got a list? I hope you're listening. Okay, here goes. Everett, age 93. I almost had it backward. He's not 39. He's 93, God. He lived in his house for 50 years. His wife died 6 years ago, and he recently had to move to Good Samaritan. Talk about downsizing. 5 closets worth of clothes, God. How's he ever gonna figure out what to do with all that stuff? It's not just like used up stuff and trash. No, he must have like 93 years worth of clothes. Maybe only 50 years worth. That's as long as he lived in the house, but still. And did you know he carves, God? Mr. Everett makes walking sticks with these cool faces on them. He has more than 50 that he's made. He probably only needs 1 or 2, so I'm not sure what he's gonna do with the rest of them. You can't throw stuff like that away, God. Did I mention that Everett is pretty cool? He's done a ton of volunteer work. He just really likes to help other people. You know, I think, I'm not that old yet, but I'm gathering, when you get older, sometimes you wonder if any of it matters, if anybody even cares. I think Everett's a little worried, God. He's worried that a life's worth of clothes will just get dumped in the trash. I think he might also be worried that all the amazing things he's done won't count for anything. Can you help, God? Okay, I know I'm not supposed to take up too much of your time, but how about Frank? No, not Kaufman or Carpenter, the other Frank. You know the one I'm talking about, the one who's been missing his wife. He's been feeling kind of lonely. He needs a place to belong, God, and he's been working on figuring out what to do with his wife's clothes. She liked clothes, a woman after my own heart. Frank's worried about all her beautiful things, all the things that remind him of her. He's just worried about what'll happen to them. You know, it's hard to let stuff like that go. You still there, God? I told you I've got a list, right? I know there are more people than just my list, but I need your special care and attention for these folks right now. Please, can you do something for Jody and her mom? They are struggling. Jody's brother just died, and they miss him so much. They just need something to comfort them, to help them remember but not feel too sad, something special, God, something connected to Jody's brother. If it's not too much to ask, please take care of it. All right, just one more for now. I know there are lots of people on your list, but I've got one more for right now. Corinne and her son. He's little, just in preschool maybe kindergarten or first grade, but he's not that old. They moved from California recently, God, just with a couple of suitcases. And Corinne needs to make a home for them. She needs some things to make her life with her son special. Can you help them, God? Can you think of something for them, something special to help them feel like they're at home and they belong? Okay, God, I know that I'm not supposed to just talk the whole time I'm praying. I hear I'm supposed to listen too, so I'll stop. I don't expect you to actually say anything just in case you're worried or wondering, but I'll listen. Sometimes I feel you close when I'm quiet.
Tanduay, this is a sweet prayer you're praying, but I think you're talking about Everett, who's donated items to thrifts and gifts. Lots of us here at the church have taken bags of clothes from him home to wash. You're right, he is sweet, and his life is amazing. I'm actually going to talk to him about the volunteer work sometime soon. We're going to feature him along with his donations at Thrifts and Gifts. And I sure hope he feels like all of his donations matter. Like he matters, because he does. And while I'm talking, I've invited Frank to visit our church. In fact, he's here today.
Hi, Frank. Welcome. It's good to have you here.
And every precious item of his wife's that he's donated, we will try to handle everything donated with love and care. After all, this isn't just people's throwaways. Lots of people donate things that have memories and meaning to them, and that we honor that.
I'm going to jump in here too, Tanduay. I talked with Jody several times, in person and by phone. I made her a memory bear out of some of her brother's clothes. It's something that she can see regularly and hold that reminds her of him. Her mom liked it so much, I made one for her too. So they both have memory bears.
That's amazing. Was that your idea, Grace, memory bears? Wow, that's so cool.
And I definitely know Corinne. We've gotten to know her at Thrifts and Gifts too. She came in with her son soon after they moved into town, and she bought a bunch of clothes for both of them. And there was this little wooden chair. It was a child's rocking chair that she purchased, a piece of furniture just for her son, and they love to cook. I can't remember exactly how this came about, but they ended up ordering aprons from Grace, and Grace made them for them so they can have that when they cook together. You know, I think sometimes it's the little things, Tanduay, the conversation, knowing someone's name, holding a ring for them, treating donations with care, Frank. A bear or a chair or an apron, sometimes that's all it takes.
Okay, God, it's me again. Tanduay, I know you're there. I didn't know how you were going to take care of all those people. I know not everything in their lives is fixed, but you found something for each of them. You found ways for them to get what they need and to have a sense of belonging and connection. I guess it's like those disciples with Jesus. They look out at the crowds and they think the best thing is for Jesus to send them away so they can get their own food. But Jesus doesn't do that. I can only imagine how they felt when Jesus was like, "You feed them." Maybe kind of how I felt when I had this list and I wasn't sure how to take care of folks. A little overwhelmed. And yet, you still find ways to work through us. Jesus worked through those disciples, and you're working through Eileen and Grace and Diane and Pat and Dawn and Linda, and I know there's a lot longer list, but I've taken a lot of your time this morning. I know you're working through thrifts and gifts and through this church, God. We've already seen you working through Paul. That's pretty cool. So I guess what I really want to say is thanks. Thanks for stories like the loaves and the fishes. I never really got it. I was always like, is this real? Like, what's actually happening? Do people reach in the basket and they like find stuff and then the basket's empty, but when the next person reaches in, there's stuff in there? Like, I don't really know. Is it if people had stuff, they put it in, and if they needed it, they took it out, or did it just all, I don't know. I never really got it. But I think I'm starting to get it just a little bit. Thank you for every reminder, God, that we matter, that our bodies matter, that our hearts and our spirits and our griefs and joys and even our stuff can matter. Thanks for showing us that when we share, when we help each other, when we let your love in, there really is enough for all of us. All right, God, I know you're busy. I'm sure I'll call again soon, but thanks. Love you. Bye.